Okay, so today's first story, we're going to talk about Trump, and he had an event, a rally, and a very small segment, only about 20 people on one side of the stage, ended up getting very sick and having to go to the hospital because their eyes were burning and they weren't able to see. And ironically, Trump went up and shook hands with them and talked to them and interacted with them. Now, of course, and this is why I say be careful about falling into tribes. The right is saying, oh, this is another attempt at Trump, another failed attempt. And the left isn't really saying anything about it, when the truth is probably, who knows, somewhere in between. From the New York Post, Trump supporters who sat on stage during Arizona rally suffers from mysterious eye injuries. They say it's unbearable. Multiple Donald Trump supporters claim they suffered a mysterious eye injury. That's not really accurate. Some had breathing issues, some had eye issues. It was what you would maybe call like a moist tissue damage, and were forced to seek medical attention over the unbearable pain after sitting behind the former president during his rally in Arizona. Mayra Rodriguez was among Trump's most loyal backers, seated in a confined portion of the right side of the stage behind the former president at Ronstadt Music Hall in Tucson on September 12th, KVOA reported. Rodriguez claimed she started experiencing eye irritation when she exited the venue following the nearly 80-minute speech. Now, what this could be is if they had one side of the stage exit one area, the other side exit another area, maybe there was something on part of the stage. Maybe there was something that was going on only on that portion of the stage or on the exit, I should say, because on the stage, nobody was blinking, nobody was having any issues during the rally. It was only as they left that something happened. All right, gents, listen up. The world's getting more unpredictable by the day. Political insanity, rumors and actual threats of war, an unstable stock market, and now the looming threat of a new global health emergency. Did you know there's a bird flu summit coming in October? It's eerily reminiscent of Event 201 that foreshadowed the COVID pandemic. And get this, the first topic on the agenda is mass fatality management planning. But here's the good news. You don't have to be scared if you're prepared. The wellness company created a medical emergency kit, and every home in America should have at least one of these. They're packed with life-saving medications like ivermectin, amoxicillin, even Z-Paks. And it's all backed by experts like Dr. Peter McCullough and, of course, Dr. Drew Pinsky. Imagine this, no more frantic searches for a doctor, no more emergency waiting rooms, just a few clicks and this kit's delivered to your front door. And in case of emergency, like war, you're gonna need something like this. In times like these, having a medical emergency kit now is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. Protect your family by preparing now. Head over to twc.health/oddmanout and use code oddmanout to save $30. Don't wait until it's too late. Act now, take control, ensure you're protected against whatever comes next, because you know they're going to be doing something in time for the elections. That's twc.health/oddmanout and use code oddmanout to save $30 and get free shipping right now. This gal had a cloth over her eyes. She said she wasn't able to open her eyes or even use them for quite a long period of time. She said, as soon as we left the stage and we stepped outside, my eyes were burning. Rodriguez, a former Planned Parenthood director / whistleblower and vocal figure in the Republican Party, told the outlet. Thinking it was just her allergies acting up, Rodriguez got in her car and began the 90-minute drive back to her home in Phoenix. However, her eye irritation became so severe during her ride home that she rushed to the emergency room. Once she arrived, the triage nurse to the to the PA, the physician's assistant, began asking her if she was sprayed with something. The former Hillary Clinton voter turned Trump supporter said, "Are you sure you didn't get sprayed with something? Your symptoms look like you got sprayed with something," she recounted the ER staff asking. And again, here's all the people that were affected by this, and they were fine on the stage. It was only after they got off that there was issue, and Trump himself didn't have any irregularities or any issues, nor did any of his staff. Her symptoms only continued to worsen the following day. "I can't see anything when I try to open my eyes. I see a bright light," Rodriguez says. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth I put on and take off constantly. It's horrible." Medical personnel were unable to come up with a diagnosis of exactly what caused her eye injuries. However, Rodriguez told News 12 that a doctor explained the venue's lights did not cause her injuries. What I find interesting is, now I haven't read all the way down through this story, what I find interesting, I wonder if if the medical staff rinsed her eyes out with like a saline solution, or if she tried some eye drops or something or other. They don't really say in this story, but it is kind of curious, and it does make you wonder. I've got a little clip from Matt Gaetz that I'm going to play at the end of this. Supposedly, there are 5 cells, 5 organizations that are active in the United States trying to currently go after Trump and take him out. And I'll get to that in a moment. So I don't want to just say like, oh, this is a nothing burger, but we seem to be very short on investigations. We seem to be very short on finding out what's going on, why these problems, where all these attacks and everything is coming from. And we're getting very comfortable in saying, oh, well, I guess we'll never know, and moving on, when, you know, this guy's a previous president, and he's likely, at least according to many of the polls, going to be the next president. We seem awful comfortable with shrugging off a lot of the issues that we're having surrounding Trump. Ironically, the news blaming Trump for most of his own woes and attempts on him. And so we went from at the first attempt, just whatever it was, 10 weeks ago, it went from we need to tone down the rhetoric to now we're going to amp up the rhetoric. And if something bad happens to Trump, it's his own fault anyway. That happened really, really quick. And many times when we talk about civil war or conflict, and, you know, it's a great buzzword and everybody thinks it's kind of fun to talk about. I suppose it's clickbait and it's interesting topic. Hello, Tim Pool. But the whole point is that I don't think it's going to start with the citizens. I don't think it's going to start at the citizen level. I think what's going to happen is something's going to happen either to Trump and the Democrats are going to keep trying to throw him in jail, or the Democrats are going to try to come for the Second Amendment or shut down the First Amendment. And you're going to have states, whether it's Texas or Tennessee or Florida, or maybe trying to think of some other conservative states off the top of my head. But anyway, you're probably going to have one of these states saying, I no longer recognize the federal government on these issues. You know, we have the sanctuary states. These are states that said, we're not going to work with ICE. We're not going to deport illegal immigrants. We're going to find a way to make them legal. And then when there was the Second Amendment argument back a few years ago, there were a lot of conservative states that said, we're going to be a sanctuary Second Amendment. And so this county or this state declare ourselves this way. And what it's going to be, I think, is the states are going to continue to try to assert power over the federal government until those two, a state or multiple states, get in a fight politically, legally, etc., with the federal government. And then whether it goes to the Supreme Court or it goes to, you know, arresting fellow people in the House and the Senate, I don't know where it goes. But that's where I think things are going to start kicking off, probably not at the ground level, because let's face it, there's a lot of Trump, not protesters, but, well, a lot of Trump protesters that have attacked Trump rally attendees and people just going to try to see Trump speak or go to an event, and they haven't retaliated. They've either been the ones harmed or they've just left and kind of run away. And of course, the media covers for the protesters. So I don't think they're going to get the citizenry fired up enough until the states and the governments and the people that we dutifully elect, until they start getting prison sentences and things thrown towards them. Then I think that's going to be something that kind of kicks things off. They say, fortunately, her vision improved on Tuesday, according to KVOA. A brother and sister who wished not to be identified said they were sitting next to Rodriguez and made eerily similar claims. Now, what's interesting is they went to this rally, they're on TV, but a brother and sister didn't want to be identified. Why? Because they likely fear for themselves, because right now, at least according to the media, liking Trump means you're a bad person. And they don't want to have any problems at their job or their house or anything else. They said it keeps getting worse and worse. How many minutes are we in here? 10 minutes. Okay. It keeps getting worse and worse. The sister told KVOA about the symptoms she experienced after leaving Trump's rally. My eyes were watering a lot. We already read that. Why they're repeating themselves, I don't know. Secret Service said it was unaware of the incident with rallygoers, but claimed there was no threat to Trump at the Arizona event where over 2,000 of his supporters flocked to hear him speak. As for Rodriguez, she told News 12 she's curious why members of one group sitting on the right side of the stage were the only ones affected. Why only the group where Trump came in? Okay, that's kind of interesting. So this is on this side of the stage, and apparently Trump came in from this side of the stage. That does seem odd. And then they go on to talk about Ryan Wesley Routh. This from Matt Wallace, excuse me. And let me pop this up, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. He says, I have to mute this because he's put very creepy music over top of this. And what his tweet actually says is it says, pay close attention to the people on the side of the stage as Trump walks out. Notice anything suspicious. Okay, let's watch. We'll see if there's anything suspicious. And again, I have to mute this because of the music. All right, this is the side of the stage he walks out on. He's shaking hands. They're waving. Everybody's happy, shaking hands, waving. Don't see anybody tearing up. No one rubbing their eyes. No one falling over and kicking like a dead fish on the stage. Everything seems pretty normal. Looks good. Still doing the same old, same old. And that's the end of the clip. What I think's happening is this Mike Wallace and others of his ilk are likely trying to do clickbait crap. I don't see anything crazy about this. I don't understand. This is nothing burger. But this, what I'm going to let you listen to now, is not a nothing burger. This is by Jack Poso. He says, breaking bulletproof project update. Matt Gaetz reveals there are 5 teams that are assigned to take out Trump, eliminating Trump, targeting him per the DHS source on American soil. This is Matt Gaetz, a Florida representative. I'll let Matt explain what's going on here.
And I'll break a little news for you. I had a senior official from the Department of Homeland Security in my office before the second assassination attempt saying that what he has assessed is that there are 5 known assassination teams in the United States, 3 inspired by other governments, 2 that are here that are known domestic assassination teams. And with that, this individual was coming to me concerned that the force protection around President Trump, even prior to that second assassination attempt, was not sufficient for what it needed to be. And the coordination at that level, at the dignitary protection level, is like the bare minimum that we have to do to keep our presidents, our presidential candidates safe while they're on the trail.
So there are 5, I just want to follow up, 5 assassination teams. Are they all targeting Trump? Is it other officials?
Yes. No,
wow.
I should have been clear about that. 5 teams that we know are targeting Trump. And so that raises real questions about why certain teams were being pulled off of the Trump detail and put on, for example, the Jill Biden detail. Now, we don't want anything bad to happen to Jill Biden, but at the same time, the threat envelope for her was substantially different than the threat envelope around President Trump, and it would not have necessitated pulling assets away from the Trump detail for the Jill Biden detail or the John Bolton detail or any other details that were beefed up. At the same time, the requests from the Trump detail and from the Trump campaign for more security were going unanswered.
I don't know why. I do not know why they think Jill Biden...
And I'll break a little news for you.
I don't know why they think Jill Biden needs all this protection, and they're pulling things from Trump when he's got 5 different teams targeting him, 3 that are from foreign agents and 2 that are from here in the United States. And what I find interesting is if Trump was so weak, if Trump was so likely to be easy on Putin and to be easy and work very well with the dictators and all the evil people in the world, why are they trying to take him out? I mean, honest question. If Trump was just this, big baby and was so willing to work with dictators and he's in the pocket of all these bad guys, wouldn't the bad guys be taking out Kamala Harris or Biden? Why would they be trying to take out Trump unless the reality is Trump poses a much greater risk to not supporting Ukraine, giving them money, going up there actually talking to Putin and putting a shutdown to this? That would be good for Russia probably and good for Ukraine. That would be bad for the European Union and bad for America because they can't get all their blood and treasure in the sand of Ukraine over there. And BlackRock that signed this $1 trillion deal to go in and repair Ukraine, that would go against the global elites. If he goes in and he decides to support Israel, give them a lot more support and say, just go in there and mow them all down, get it done with. Now, I know not all of you agree with that. I understand that. But that means that Israel's not probably the ones that are going after Trump. Would it be Iran? Sure. But again, you kind of have to look at this and say, why are they going so hard after Trump if he's such a weak person, as the Democrats state, and he's so easy to work with, and he likes dictators, and he was willing to make deals with the bad guys? Wouldn't the bad guys want him in office then, if he's going to be the one de-escalating everything?